You have been chosen, and this communication has arrived at the most opportune moment. At this point in your path, there are no coincidences, and the information that you are about to hear will cause a shift in your understanding of all that you are currently experiencing. The feeling that something is coming to an end, that the life you have known is in the process of vanishing, and that you no longer belong where you once did, is something that you have experienced deep within yourself. This is not a typical sensation at all. In other words, it is a divine signal, a calling, and a revelation. Your preparations are being made for a change that very few people are able to fathom. If you are here, it is not by accident. You have arrived at this position as a result of the universe, the divine, and God Himself. These are words that will be heard by many, but only those who are truly chosen will comprehend the depth of their meaning. It is because you were intended to receive this message that you are experiencing the sensation that it is speaking to you. Your spirit has been pleading for clarity, and the solutions are finally on their way to reaching you. It is not your imagination that you have experienced everything that you have felt, including the restlessness, the isolation, and the profound awareness that something needs to change. It is something that is unfolding in front of you. I would like for you to interact with this message in order to validate the things that you already know deep inside your spirit. Make a comment with the number 222 if you feel this way. Use this as a declaration that you are prepared to receive the information that has been disclosed to you. When it comes to this matter, there is no longer any room for uncertainty or indecision. What is about to happen next will demand you to be completely aware of it. You have been traveling along a route that the majority of people are unable to see. There have been attempts made by the world to keep you sleepy, preoccupied, and uneducated about who you really are. But you are no longer susceptible to being misled. You no longer have any influence over the illusions that this reality presents to you. The things that were seen as significant in the past now appear to be meaningless. The relationships that you formerly held in high regard have started to deteriorate. You have become aware of the change, but it is possible that you do not fully comprehend the fact that this is occurring due to the fact that you are about to depart. Not something to be afraid of, but rather something to welcome with open arms. If a person who has been chosen reaches this point, it indicates that their soul is progressing to a higher dimension. Because they are unable to continue existing in the space where you are heading, the old world, the old ego, and the old attachments are all dissolving. This is the reason why you have a feeling of disconnection. This is the reason why you have the impression that you are sandwiched between two different realities, unsure of which way to turn. Listen to me very carefully. It is not a lost cause. There is a call coming to you. It is essential to make this shift. Every person who is chosen is required to walk through this portion of the journey, because a new life, a more elevated existence is waiting for you. The life that you have known in the past is coming to an end. Everything cannot be brought with you at this time. You cannot cling to something that is no longer beneficial to you. Too long has the weight of this world been pushing down on you, but now it is time for you to rise up and take control of your life. Some people could experience a profound sense of melancholy upon coming to this conclusion. Some people could have a peculiar sense of relief, as if something deep within them has been waiting for this moment for a very long time. Recognize that you are exactly where you are supposed to be, regardless of where you are standing. Even if the path that lies ahead will not be simple, it will be a divine one. After this is over, you will not be the same person you were before. Your perspective on life will change as a result. In this moment, you will enter a world that only those who have been selected can comprehend. You have received this message because you are prepared to receive it. Do not avert your gaze. Try not to disregard the warnings. Exactly how it should be, everything is falling into place. You have been preparing your soul for this for a very long time, even before you came into this world. It is now time for you to go on to the next step in the process. Due to the fact that what you are going to hear will completely alter everything, pay close attention. The spiritual departure of the chosen one. Something deep inside you has already informed you that your life as you know it is about to come to an end. In the sense that the world understands it, this is not the end. Rather, it is a departure, a separation from the reality that you were previously familiar with. For all of eternity, the chosen ones are not intended to remain in a single location or on a single level of life. There comes a time in their journey when everything starts to change, when the very foundation of their life starts to fracture. This is the moment when everything begins to move. In the event that you are now going through this, you should know that you are not going to go lost. You are being lured into the path that is right for you. The vast majority of people will never comprehend what is taking place in your life. The way they look at your life will lead them to believe that you are merely going through a challenging period. You will be advised to have patience and to wait for things to return to their usual conditions. But you are aware of the reality. Unfortunately, there is no way to go back to the life you used to lead. The world that you used to be accustomed to no longer feels like a place that you call home. You experience a sense of alienation and disconnection, as if you are merely seeing the events that are taking place around you, rather than being a participant in them. This is due to the fact that you are no longer bound to this certain interpretation of reality. Your spirit is getting ready to depart from this very place. The chosen one has now made their spiritual exit from this world. Because it is a stage of waking that cannot be avoided, it is a process that every chosen individual is required to go through. At the very instant that you were selected, your destiny was decided. It was never our intention for you to be confined to this realm. It was never intended for you to live your life in the same manner as everyone else, mindlessly pursuing the distractions and illusions that keep the majority of people asleep. Your soul was destined for something more significant. And because of this, you are obligated to let go of everything that is not in harmony with the divine purpose that you have been given. Perhaps a good number of you have already observed the indications. You experience a profound alienation from the people who are in your immediate vicinity. Conversations that used to delight you now leave you feeling avoidant. The areas that used to seem like home now feel like they are unfamiliar. You may have attempted to cling to the past, to coerce yourself into maintaining a connection to the life you formerly led. Yet the more of an effort you make, the more weary you feel. This is on account of the fact that you are fighting against something that is already taking place. It is impossible for you to remain in the same place since your spirit is rising. These chosen ones go through this departure in a variety of different ways. Certain individuals will be physically separated from their previous life. Connections will come to an end. There will be a loss of jobs. It will become intolerable to live in environments. Some people will go through a profound change on the inside, and nothing will feel the same as it could before. In spite of the fact that they continue to reside in the same location physically, their spirit will no longer be bound to it. When they do this, they will start to see through the illusions, the lusas, and the manipulations that are present in this world. They will ultimately come to the realization that everything they formerly believed in was nothing more than a diversion from the task that they were meant to fulfill. This change is not going to be simple. It is possible to get the sensation that everything is falling apart, as if you are losing everything that you previously cared about. Nevertheless, this is not a loss. In other words, it is a change. There will be no repercussions for you. You are getting ready for this. After a chosen one has reached the point in their journey where they are about to go on to the next stage, they must be stripped of all that is no longer required of them. It is necessary for them to let go of the attachments, fears, and identities that they had previously held on to. Quite a few people will oppose this step. To cling to what is known to them, they will make an effort to fight it. Nevertheless, the more they fight against it, the more agonizing it becomes. The chosen individual is unable to remain in a location that they have outgrown. It is comparable to attempting to fit into outdated clothing that is no longer suitable for you. It turns into something that is unpleasant, suffocating, and confining. In order to move on, the only way to proceed is to surrender and have faith that what is coming next is significantly more significant than what is being left behind. At this point, trust becomes absolutely necessary. When everything around you is shifting, when the world you once knew is disintegrating right in front of your eyes, you have to cling to the one thing that is unmovable. Your high and holy goal, your selection is not a random occurrence. God does not commit errors in judgment. There is a reason why you are experiencing this departure. It is because it is destined to happen to you. This world cannot provide you with what you are being called to, but you are being called to something that is higher. It's possible that some of you are already bearing the burden of this change. It's possible that you're feeling worn out, as if you no longer have the energy to engage with the world in the same way that you normally would. This is due to the fact that your spirit is no longer tied to this particular reality. There is a change taking place in you, a change to something else, something unknown, something sacred. Right now is not the time to be afraid. Right now is the time to get ready. The rest of the world will not comprehend what is taking place in your life. You may be referred to as aloof, withdrawn, or even weird by other people. When they see that you have lost interest in the things that were formerly important to you, they will wonder why you have done so. It is not your responsibility to carry the load of their confusion. You are not going to encounter them. There is no intention for them to comprehend. You are the only one for whom this voyage is intended, and it is between you and the divine. One of the essential components of the awakening is the spiritual departure of the one who has been chosen. The shattering of the bonds that formerly kept you captive is what this is all about. It is the process of destroying the illusions that were keeping your mind under control in the past. Before you can step into your actual power, this is the last step you need to take. There is no purpose for you to be here. There is no need for you to go along with the norm. To follow a route that only a select few will ever know, you have come to this place. All of the things that are not in alignment with your higher purpose must be abandoned in order for you to follow that path. There are going to be times when you feel isolated and times when you are uncertain. However, you must note this: you are not the only one. Those who have been chosen before you have all traveled down this path. Throughout history, every prophet, every messenger, and every soul that has attained enlightenment has undergone this transition. This is the cost of coming to consciousness. It is the sacrifice of those who have been selected. However, this is also the beginning of something that is more significant than you could possibly understand. A new reality is waiting for you. Thus, you are leaving behind the old world that you have known from the past. This is not merely a matter of losing a life. A destiny is being bestowed upon you. You have been selected. Consequently, you are required to depart. To answer your question, are you prepared? Because your objective cannot be accomplished where you are currently located, you have been selected to depart. A few of you were placed in circumstances that were designed to mold you and to fortify you, but they were not intended to contain you for an indefinite period of time. There were those individuals who were encircled by people who were never able to see them in their true form, who never comprehended the depth of their being, and who merely drained their vitality without ever replenishing it. Moreover, the divine is intervening at this moment, separating you from others, isolating you, and getting you ready for what is approaching. After you have completed this change, there is something significant that is waiting for you. You, however, are not allowed to bring the old with you into the new. It is impossible to bring the same mentalities, attachments, and routines into the location that you are going to be going to. Because of this, the process feels like it is really intense. It is the process of destroying everything that you are unable to bring with you. This portion of the journey is frequently difficult for those who have been chosen. Why me, they inquire. How come I am required to leave? If I want to live a normal life like everyone else, why can't I just do that? The thing that they do not get, however, is that their life was never intended to be a typical one. To tread a road that very few people will ever comprehend is what it means to be chosen. Going into the unknown with faith, despite the fact that every fiber of your being wants to cling to the familiar, is what it is to have faith. In this moment, your spiritual fortitude will be put to the test. Will you put your faith in what you feel on the inside? Do you have faith that there is a purpose behind this taking place? Or are you going to make an effort to cling to something that has already been lost? It is up to you to decide, but you must be aware of this. Once a chosen individual is given the order to depart, they are unable to return. It is possible for them to attempt, but nothing will ever feel the same again. They will not be accepted by the old world. The folks they used to know will appear distancing to them. The things that used to bring them happiness will now leave them feeling void. This occurs due to the fact that their spirit is no longer present. It was decided that you should leave because there is more for you to discover, because you are no longer able to be held captive by the illusions of this world. Mostly due to the fact that your objective is more important than the constraints that other people attempt to impose on you. When you finally come to terms with this, when you allow yourself to stop resisting, everything will become crystal apparent. The path ahead is not an easy one. Faith is necessary for it. Having courage is necessary. In order to move into what you are actually meant to become, it is necessary to let go of everything that you believed you required. Listen to me very carefully. You are about to enter something that is significantly more significant than everything you are leaving behind. The story does not finish here. We are just getting started. You have been selected, and so it is imperative that you depart. What were the reasons behind your departure? Not everyone is able to comprehend what is taking place in your life at this particular now. There will be many people who will attempt to persuade you that this is merely a phase. Simply put, you are either disoriented or confused. On the other hand, you are already aware of the reality. It is not a lost cause. There is a call coming to you. Furthermore, this calling is accompanied by a distancing, a spiritual departure from everything that is no longer serving your purpose in life. It has been decided that you will depart. They are never supposed to remain in the same location for an excessively extended period of time. It was never intended for you to blend in, to lead a life that is typical, or to conform to the norms that are prevalent among the people. Starting from the moment that the divine imprinted itself on your spirit, you were placed on a road that only a select few could traverse. Sacrifice is required to follow that route. It is necessary to undergo metamorphosis. Most importantly, it is necessary for you to let go of the things that are tying you down to a less significant world. The reason you have never felt completely at ease in this world is because of this. It was because of this that you constantly had the feeling that something was missing, even when you made an effort to fit in. Relationships, employment, and routines are all important aspects. Nothing ever seemed to be a permanent state, for the reason that your spirit knew deep down that it was only a temporary situation. Your destiny has always been to do something more significant. Moreover, the time has arrived for you to take action in order to fulfill that mission. Your leaving is not a form of punishment that you are currently experiencing. No, this is not a rejection. It is not like being abandoned. Elevation is the term. You are being encouraged by God to move away from the things that are no longer congruent with the person you are gradually becoming. If you suddenly feel distant from the things that used to be important to you, if specific people have vanished from your life, if doors have closed, and if you have suddenly experienced a sense of disconnection, it is because you are being removed from a place that is no longer capable of holding your spirit. There are many selected ones who oppose this process. They struggle to maintain relationships, places, and identities that are no longer beneficial to them or to their well-being. Nevertheless, the more they fight against it, the more agonizing it becomes. This is the reason why a significant number of you are going through intense weariness, feelings of isolation, and emotional anguish. The item that you are clinging to is not something that was ever intended to last. The moment you begin to let go, the moment you acknowledge that you have been selected to depart, the burden will start to lighten, and the indications that you are about to depart will start to appear. Your soul is aware of the chosen one before your intellect is aware of it. It is not something that occurs all of a sudden when that moment of departure arrives. It makes itself known through indications, through shifts, and through a profound understanding that cannot be disregarded. These indications indicate that your time spent in this particular version of reality is drawing to a close, and you should prepare yourself accordingly. While the old life is beginning to fade away, the new life is waiting for you, and your spirit is already getting ready for what is after this. A feeling of exhaustion that is overwhelming is one of the most prominent diagnostic indicators. Not only do you feel physically exhausted, but you also feel a profound spiritual and emotional fatigue. It is as if your whole spirit is exhausted on the inside. When you first open your eyes in the morning, you are already exhausted before the day has even begun. Those activities that used to delight you no longer have the drive to keep you interested. Even having interactions with other people seems to require an excessive amount of effort. It is not a case of laziness. I am not experiencing depression. You are experiencing a disconnection of your spirit from a world that is no longer congruent with the person you are becoming. A further indication that cannot be refuted is emotional detachment. There is a possibility that you will find that you are losing interest in relationships, hobbies, and goals that were before important to you. You are not becoming more careless. That is not the case. That your soul is no longer bound to these objects is the reason behind this. It is possible that when you look around at your life, you will feel as though you are observing everything from a distance, as if you are a stranger. You are no longer able to find solace in the things that used to make you feel safe and secure. The realization that you are being guided to a different location may even cause you to have a peculiar sensation of calm. It will become increasingly difficult to find people in your life. Without any explanation, long-standing friendships will die out. It will make members of the family feel more distant. There will be a sudden void in relationships that were once considered to be robust. It is not a rejection at all. This is the separation of the divine. Those who have been selected are not permitted to bring any useless attachments into the subsequent phase. It is possible that you will eliminate someone from your life if their presence is no longer beneficial to your development. A few of them will not speak to you at all. Because of the disagreement, some people will depart. In any case, they will depart in some fashion or another. Numbers of angels and synchronicities will become more prevalent. You will start to notice numbers that appear repeatedly, such as 111, 222, and 999. These are spiritual confirmations that a cycle is coming to an end and that you are being moved into something else that is more elevated. Please pay heed to these indications. There are messages from the universe, messages from God, and they are trying to tell you that everything is going according to plan. There will be a noticeable decline in interest in materialism, which cannot be denied. You will begin to sense that things that once pleased you, such as money, position, or external accomplishment, are no longer significant. When this happens, you will no longer have the feeling that you need to pursue what the world tells you is significant. Instead, you will find yourself drawn to the place of divine knowledge, wisdom, and tranquility. You will have a strong desire for calmness, seclusion, and clarity. There will be an increase in your sensitivity to energy. Particular surroundings will have a heavier sensation. There are those folks who will deplete you more quickly. You will begin to perceive some things that other people are unable to. As soon as you enter a room, you could experience a change in the presence of energy. Your judgment will become more acute, and you will start to detect the genuine character of the people in your immediate environment. This is due to the fact that your spirit is ascending, and as it does so, it is becoming more conscious of what lies beneath the surface. As time goes on, your dreams will become more symbolic and vivid. While they are still in the process of transitioning, many of those who have been chosen receive messages in their dreams. There is a possibility that you will have nightmares in which you are departing, walking through doors, flying, or being directed by higher entities. Give careful consideration to these dreams. These are revealing to you what is going to happen. You will be overcome with a strong desire to be by yourself. There will be an increase in the desire to retreat from the world, to isolate oneself, and to get away from the din of the outside world. I am not experiencing loneliness. Preparation is what this is. For your soul to be able to make a smooth transfer into the next world, it needs some time to remove itself from the distractions that this reality presents. Since then, nothing has the same sensation. Every aspect of your life, including the food you consume, the music you listen to, and the way you perceive time, is unique to you. This is due to the fact that you are already fluctuating. There are some things that used to make you happy but no longer do. The locations that were previously familiar now feel like they are unknown to me. You are not using your creativity here. It is the truth that cannot be refuted. You will be departing. It is not the intention of these signs to frighten you. In order to get you ready, they are here. You will not be misplaced or forgotten. You are at a high position. Because a new reality is waiting for you, the world that you have known is beginning to fade away. You are about to enter a realm that is beyond compare, one that is heavenly, and one that only a select few will ever have the opportunity to experience. Exactly what it means to say goodbye. Exiting is not the same thing as dying physically. It is not about evading or escaping from your life in any way. There is a focus on the change of the spirit, a change that is so profound that it is impossible for you to continue existing in the same manner, with the same frame of mind, or even in the same world as you did before. When someone who has been selected is given the instruction to depart, it indicates that they are letting go of anything that is no longer serving their divine purpose. This is something that you have previously experienced. People with whom you once shared a connection are no longer able to comprehend you. Things that were important to you in the past now appear to be meaningless to you. The temptations of the outside world are no longer able to exert influence over your thoughts. This was not a casual occurrence. It is a movement from one existence to another, a departure from everything that is divine. There are certain people who do not experience this kind of departure. A significant number of individuals spend their entire lives tied to the world, caught in cycles of illusion, and persistently seeking pleasures that are just fleeting. However, you, the Blessed One, were never intended to live in such a manner. You have always been destined to awaken, to progress, and finally to enter into something that is far beyond the confines of this planet. Whenever you receive a call to depart, everything starts to fall apart immediately. There is a change in your identity. The way you perceive yourself shifts throughout time. The way you perceive the world shifts throughout time. There is no longer any trace of the person you were in the past. There is a new version of you emerging, one that is more powerful, smarter, and more in tune with the truth that comes from the divine. The old version of you is passing away. A lot of people are afraid of this process because it makes them feel like they are losing everything. However, it is imperative that you comprehend that you are not relinquishing anything that was ever actually yours. The things that are leaving your life were never intended to remain. The thing that is being removed was only going to be there for a short period of time. The friendships that are in the process of deteriorating, the partnerships that are coming to an end, and the possibilities that are coming to an end were merely stepping stones and not destinations. The fact that your spirit is in the process of distancing itself from the world is the reason why this shift feels so intense. This is the definition of what it means to leave. Going to a different location is not the point of this discussion. It is about breaking free from the delusions that used to hold you captive and releasing yourself from their hold. Stepping into your divine power is the key to a life in which fear, doubt, and attachment are no longer the determining factors in your existence. A significant number of those who have been chosen go through a period of extreme loneliness during this time. Everything will have a distinct sensation. Even in locations that were formerly familiar to you, you will experience a sense of being a stranger. More than anything else, you will have a strong need for complete silence, profound thinking, and a relationship with the holy. It is because your spirit is getting ready to move on to a higher dimension of existence that this is happening. In the process of letting go of your previous self, you will ultimately acquire something much more significant, such as clarity, wisdom, and divine guidance. The disorientation that you are experiencing will subside. Eventually, the agony of the past will no longer hold you captive. Eventually, you will come to recognize life for what it actually is, a trip that is only temporary, a test, and a mission. Additionally, you will assume your role with a level of strength that you were not aware you possessed. The act of leaving does not imply defeat. Ascending is what it signifies. It means taking the first step toward your future. It means liberating yourself from everything that has kept you modest, feeble, and preoccupied with other things. This shift was destined to take place with you. It was fated for you to succeed. Right now is the time when you make your choice. Are you willing to put up a struggle in order to maintain a life that is no longer for you? Alternately, are you willing to have faith that something more significant is waiting for you on the other side? It is up to you to decide. Know this, however. There is no turning back once a person who has been chosen is given the order to depart. Forward is the only way to proceed. In addition, what lies ahead of you is beyond anything you could have ever conceived of. Working on getting ready for the change. You have been chosen and your departure is unavoidable. In fact, the transformation has already started. At this point, you are required to get ready for what is to come. You should not make any attempt to avoid this transition because it is not something you can ignore. Prior to entering into your greater calling, this is the final step that you must take. However, this trip is not for those who are easily discouraged. Your spiritual fortitude, unwavering faith, and determination to let go of everything that is not intended to accompany you are all necessary components of this endeavor. The acceptance of this change is the initial step in the process of becoming ready for it. As a result of their resistance to what is taking place, many chosen ones have difficulty navigating this period. Despite the fact that they are aware that the old is vanishing, they make an effort to cling to it. They make an effort to remain in situations that are no longer caring for them and in the company of others who are no longer able to comprehend them. However, the more they fight against it, the more agonizing the process continues to be. It is important to realize that this is a supernatural intervention. Instead of being abandoned, you are being directed in the right direction. Recognize that your time in this version of your life is coming to an end, and give into the process since it is inevitable. The ability to let go of fear is essential. Fear is one of the most powerful weapons that may be used against those who have been chosen. It causes people to remain stagnant, uncertain, and hesitant. Nevertheless, fear is a delusion. The only way it can have any real power is if you give it power. It is imperative that you have faith that everything is carrying out precisely as it should. You are being positioned in accordance with the divine plan that is currently being carried out. Not a single thing that is taking place is a mistake. You are being brought into alignment with the next phase of your life by every loss, every shift, and every startling change. Your ability to negotiate this shift will be aided by the deepening of your spiritual practices. You can deepen your connection to spiritual guidance by engaging in activities such as prayer, meditation, fasting, and solitude. In order to be able to clearly hear the voice of Guritaran, the universe, your higher self, or whatever you choose to refer to as the divine force that is guiding you, you will need to quiet the noise of the world. Spend some time in the park. Separate yourself from any distractions. Wait in silence and pay attention. Your own mind or Yayalari contains the answers you are looking for. Additionally, you need to get ready for the unknown. A great number of those who have been chosen desire to see the entire path before they take the initial step. However, this is not how the process works. You will not be provided with all of the information. Right away, you won't have all of the answers to your questions. In spite of the fact that you do not have a complete understanding of where you are heading, you must proceed with trust. This is the examination. In this way, those who are truly chosen are differentiated from those who are not yet prepared. When you venture into the unknown, you must do it with the assurance that you are being guided towards something more significant. In order to successfully complete this change, it is vital to cut off poisonous ties. Not everyone will be able to accompany you. Certain persons, certain routines, and certain mentalities are all remnants of the previous iteration of you. In the location that you are headed, it is impossible for them to exist. If you make an effort to keep them, they will simply serve to make you feel more burdened. Observe the folks who are in your immediate vicinity. Do you feel that they are uplifting you or emptying you? They are assisting you in stepping into your spiritual mission, are they? That is, are they preventing you from moving beyond lesser vibrations? The response will be unmistakable. In addition, you need to have the ability to let go when the time comes. You can get a sense of being entirely alone during this change. Don't be afraid of being alone yourself. It cannot be avoided. A significant number of those who have been chosen will go through a period of intense seclusion prior to stepping into their higher calling. At this point, you will be put through a test. At this point, you will experience a surge of strength. There is a possibility that you will feel as though you have no place in this world anymore, since the old world will reject you. However, you must note this: it is merely a transitory situation. Over the course of time, you will discover your soul tribe. You will have the opportunity to connect with people who are traveling the same path as you. But before you do that, you have to walk by yourself. Believe in the divine timing. The process should not be rushed. When things are supposed to happen, you should not try to force them to happen. Everything is developing precisely how it ought to be evolving. Doors that are required to be opened will be opened. You will receive the direction that you require. You will meet the appropriate people at the right moment. They will come into your life, but you have to exercise patience. To ensure a smooth transition, you must give it time to occur spontaneously. It is about to happen that you will enter something very remarkable. However, in order to accomplish this, you need to be completely ready. This is not merely a shift in state. There has been a total change in appearance. As the old version of you passes away, the new version of you is coming to the surface. Give up things that are no longer beneficial to you. Boost your morale and fortitude. Proceed with faith in the future. The following stage of your adventure is just around the corner. Where do you stand? Final message to the chosen ones. Chosen one, if you have made it this far, it is a sign that this message was intended specifically for you. Deep within your being, you have experienced every single phrase and every single truth. It should be obvious to you that this is not merely another message. What you have been sensing up until this point is validated by this affirmation. The time has come for you to wake up. Now is the time for you to get some vision. It is not a coincidence that you are here. All of the things that you have been going through, including the loss, the alienation, the loneliness, and the overwhelming feeling that you do not belong in this world anymore, have all been leading up to this moment. Even if you are leaving behind the life that you formerly knew, you are not losing anything that was ever genuinely yours during your entire life. There is a significant difference between what you are leaving behind and what lies ahead of you. Right now is not the time to procrastinate. Now is not the time to have any doubts. It is imperative that you take the initiative to enter what has already been prepared for you. Get this point across. You are not the only one, Gem. Know that there are other chosen ones who are going through this transition just like you. Even if you feel like no one understands what you are going through, and even if you feel like you have no one to turn to, there are others who are going through this journey just like you. Even though you have not yet seen them, they are there. At the appropriate moment, you will be able to locate them. You have constantly been aware of the fact that you are unique. There has always been a sense that something more significant is calling you, even when you were unable to articulate it. Now that call is more audible than it has ever been. There is no longer any way to ignore it. The moment has arrived for you to develop into the person you were always destined to be. There is no need to be terrified. Don't cling to things that are no longer beneficial to you. Try not to examine the reasons behind your being singled out. You will be destined for this. It is now up to you to completely embrace this opportunity since you were selected for it. Comment 3T3 below if this message has struck a chord with your spirit and if you are aware of the truth that is inside you. This will serve as a sign that you are aware of this shift, that you are prepared for it, and that you are making the decision to welcome what is to come. This is your precious time. Your confirmation is included here. You are prepared to go. Proceed now, the one who has been chosen. You have only just started your journey.